We've had meetings run late. We've had ministerial delegations walk out, but we haven't had a sort of multi-day delay in the OPEC Plus meeting. So what it shows is there are significant strains between countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia. You have countries like Iraq who basically say, look, our cuts are unfair. We're too cash strapped to have to make these deep cuts and pay compensation. You have countries like Kazakhstan, an OPEC Plus country, essentially saying, let's just bring on the extra 2 million barrels. So we do have, a range of differences over production policy. That said, I don't think anybody wants to have another March 6th scenario where they can't reach an agreement and oil prices tank. That said, are they a little complacent? With the vaccine news, do some countries believe, you know what, oil is going to rise anyway, maybe we don't have to sit down our barrels?
Yeah, and the drama is very different, which is why we have to, and I'm sure we will get back there, Helene. It's a big difference when the Iranian minister storms out of a building being yelled at by journalists, and I guess somebody now just switching off their Zoom as a sign of protest.
Yes.
I don't know how exactly it works. Do you ultimately believe they will get a deal done today?
I don't think they're necessarily going to get it done today because we're not having the meeting with OPEC Plus till Thursday. So we actually have, multi-day drama. They're not technically scheduled to meet today. They're going to have informal talks today. So we could be having a situation where we don't know the outcome until Thursday because Russia really does have to weigh in to make this agreement stick. The other thing to be watching is there were reports that His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz, Saudi oil minister, threatened to resign as OPEC co-chair, as JMMC co-chair yesterday. So we had a lot of news stories coming out of that meeting.
Did you? Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was one of the more surprising things that came out. Almost like either, I don't know if it was a sign of protest or conciliation by Prince Abdulaziz. How would you read that he would threaten to resign that co-chair?
I would read it as a sign, again, of just how deep the tensions were yesterday. His Royal Highness has a policy. Saudi Arabia will cut more, but everybody has to pull their weight. So I think it's a sign of how tense the negotiations were. I do think, again, we will probably get an agreement on Thursday, but they are certainly making us sweat it out.
But they've got to have something done on paper to present to OPEC Plus on Thursday. They're going to continue to talk today to try to get to that point, correct? Hopefully we'll know a little more today, correct?
Well, Brian, we've had multiple OPEC meetings where they couldn't get the agreement done when the ministers from OPEC were just meeting, and then everything was solved at OPEC Plus. You've actually had situations where Alexander Novak, the Russian oil minister, has had to actually broker detente between OPEC nations. So it's not unusual to have everything solved at the final meeting of OPEC Plus.
And let's not forget, Novak got a big promotion. He's now Deputy Prime Minister of Russia, so he's maybe wielding even more power.
I think it also shows the importance to Vladimir Putin of the relationship with OPEC. That's why I don't think at the end of the day, the Russians want to let this whole thing fall apart. I think they'd like to come in and take credit for actually holding the group together.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.